it doesn't even notify me? I need to make sure I check notifications for myself. Good morning, ladies. Here we are. Oops. Oh, need to turn that down. All right, happy Monday morning. I know a lot of you got a great workout this morning in the live workouts. Awesome. We love seeing you all live in the workouts each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we thank you for that. So today, this is our Monday mindset call, and it's titled No More Excuses, Breaking Free from Comfort and Control, and taking control. I'm kind of tagging along, continuing the path that Lisa started last week, because it was such a great topic about self-sabotage, because we keep hearing the same things from each of the clients we do one-on-ones with. And over the weekend, again, I had the same thing. And we just want to keep addressing things that are relevant. So it may seem like you're hearing things over and over again, but when you hear it with a little bit different twist, or spoken in a different way, or maybe there's something that you missed the first time. So it's always great to hear repetitive messages in just that slightly different way, because it might help it really sink in. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I have to read something over again, or go back to it, or listen to something a couple times before it gets in our heads, right? So what we really need to do is we need to understand that our body and our mind crave comfort. It wants to be comfortable. It's just wired that way for survival. You know, it's wired to be comfortable, survival, not transformational, right? When you start getting it to try to transform into something else, your body's like, I like it here, and I kind of want to stay here. I don't want to do that over there because that looks kind of hard. And that's why we end up making excuses, or we stay in familiar, comfortable routines, and we resist change, even when we know it's best for us. A lot of us know what to do. We know what we want to do. We have all those things, but this is why, because your brain is just wired to be comfort. You know, it sounds difficult. I want to stay in my place. But when we stay stuck, it's truly costing. It can cost many different things, but it can cost your health, it can cost your energy, and it can cost your goals. So today we're going to just break down the science behind why we resist change, and then how to kind of shift our self-talk, and why your why needs bigger. I know we always talk about that, but your why needs to be a little bigger than your excuses. So it's time to stop settling, and we just need to start showing up for ourselves. Okay. Your whys, like we always talk about when you do whys. I think Lisa hit this last week as well. So go back and watch last week's Monday Mindset. You can watch it on YouTube. If your why, and you think about it, isn't making you want to change, go deeper. We always say there's a couple layers of whys. You start with the main why, and then we want to tell you go a little bit deeper, and then go a little bit deeper. And then maybe even have to go another level until you really hit the true reason why you are at this point in your life looking for transformation. So you need to think about that. All right. So number one, why we stay comfortable and make excuses, kind of backed by science here. So like I said before, I always want to give you some scientific evidence to why this is happening. So you don't just feel like, what's wrong with me? And why can't I do this? And everybody else is doing it. And why can't I? All right. So the brain is designed for efficiency and survival, not transformation, like I stated earlier. And neuroscience and homeostasis, the studies show that the brain seeks stability. Okay. That's that homeostasis means it's balanced, and it resists change that feels uncertain, uncomfortable. And then that's why we default back to our old habits, because those are easy. We're comfortable, right? And then there's a book, it's called it was The Habit Loop, and it was in the book, The Power of Habit by Charles, I think it's Duhigg is his last name. He explained how the brain forms habits to conserve energy, and that's why change feels hard. It requires breaking deeply ingrained neurological patterns. So when you think you're struggling, you are, and there's a scientific reason you are. And the longer you have been in those habits, and the longer you have been doing the things that you've been doing, eating poorly or not exercising, not, taking time to think of yourself. You put other people in front of you, usually good reasons why you get lost. A lot of times we lose ourselves in good things that we're doing for others, but we have to remember that we're just as equally important. And when you're taking care of you, everybody else will be taken care of better, and their lives will be better when you're better and happy and feeling good. So these changes are really hard, and there is a reason for it because of that ingrained neurological patterns that we do have. And then the comfort zone and fear response. They did some psychological studies. I always find this kind of stuff fascinating, that stepping outside of a familiar routine activates it's called the amygdala. I'm horrible at phonics. The part of your brain, amygdala, I'm terrible. I should know this because nursing school, I can never say it right there either. Let's just say it's the brain's fear center. All right. And that creates that feelings of anxiety or resistance that leads us again into retreating back into your old habits, where your brain's like, whew, don't be taking me there. Because the minute you start doing it, it activates the fear part of your brain. I'm not gonna say the word again. And it's like, get me back, get me back. Okay. So that's the neuroscience of it. That's the scientific evidence of it. It's true. It happens. That's what makes things so much harder for everybody. So number 2 is, how does that affect your health and fitness journey? And we can put 2 and 2 together here. By staying in your comfort zone, what it does is going to lead you to stagnation. You're just going to stay there. You're going to stay there physically, mentally, emotionally, like everything. You just get stagnant. And making excuses just delays that progress and then reinforces that cycle of inconsistency. Because when you start something, you go back. You start something, you get uncomfortable, scientifically you get pushed back. And that's where that consistency starts. That's where people do really well for a while, and then they revert back, and then why can't I just break that cycle? It takes some work, but it's doable. And that's why you guys are here, right? So we talk about consistency all the time and how important it is. And you all know that consistency brings change, and it's consistency over time. You're going to get the results, not perfection, but consistency. That's the key. And then the other one, again, we talked about the why. Your why has to be strong enough. It's easy to quit when things get tough. We naturally want to go back. Lisa talked about this last week about self-sabotage. So I won't repeat. So go back and watch that one. And then the negative self-talk reinforces the belief that change is too hard, making it more difficult to take action. I don't like working out. It's too hard to drink all the water. It's hard for me to get up in the morning. Like when we say all these things, we need to change the self-talk to ourselves. And I just had that conversation with a client, like say, I love the opportunity to work out, or I loved walking. It's getting nice out. I want to walk, or I love, prepping my food, or, changing the self-talk. I like getting up in the morning because then I get things done. Rethink your old sayings and your old patterns to what you've said in the past. It really does help. And it's going to take a while. You're going to have to say it to yourself quite often before it actually takes change in the brain and gets you into doing it. But you need to do it. The minute you hear yourself say, I don't want to do, stop right there and say, oh, Lisa and Leslie tell me this all the time. This is a negative pattern thought right here. My body is trying to transition me back to old habits. It's getting uncomfortable. I need to positively self-talk myself on the way. And ladies, you have a community of some amazing women here, right? And Lisa and I are in the group too, coaching you throughout stuff. Put it in the group. If you're having a down day, if you're feeling a little bit out of sorts, or hey, I need to pick me up. I'm starting to suffer in this area, or I'm starting to crave sugar. I'm starting to feel this way. Say something in the group, ask for support and help. That is what community is about. And we all need it. Everybody needs community and needs somebody to help build them up. And sometimes just one person's comments can switch it in a minute, or somebody can give you something positive about yourself that maybe you didn't think about. Because there are days where you're like, I just can't think of anything good. I can't think about any wins I've done. I can't think about anything good that I did. And you'll find this often, especially if you coach with us, we'll be like, well, as you keep talking, we're like, well, I just heard about 3 wins in that conversation right there. Because we're used to focusing on the negative stuff and the things you didn't do or didn't accomplish, instead of focusing on things that you did do. Because there's always something good that you did in the day. So 3 is then how to shift and move forward. Okay. So it's challenging the first thing is to be like challenging your comfort zone, because growth happens in discomfort. We always say what doesn't challenge you won't change you. And it's true. Your brain is going to resist at first. It is. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to. I just proven it to you scientifically that it does. So you have to start small. Daily challenges are going to help rewire it for change. So it's doing those small little things that you can be consistent in and that you know you can win. Remember, building that trust in yourself, building those small wins, and then keep going and habit stacking it. And then I just talked about reframing your self-talk, and that is number 2. And studies, again, did show that the words that we use do shape our reality. So instead of I don't have time, I will make time. Instead of I'm not good at this, say I'm learning. All right, because you still might not be good at something, right? But you're learning. That's still better than saying I'm not good at it. And just think about that. When you say those words, think of something that you're trying to learn or you don't think you can do it. And then say, but I'm learning. So I'm going to get better. Food prepping, right? I'm not good at food prepping, but you're learning how to food prep. And that's better than just saying, I don't know how to do it. You're learning and it's going to take some time to learn, right? We don't learn everything. Kids don't learn to walk in a day. It takes time. There's always a process to learning everything. And then it's dig deeper into your why, like I talked about. That surface level goal of I want to lose weight won't fuel your long-term success. Why does this truly matter to me? And keep asking it until you find that deeper emotional connection, and you'll find it. You will find it. If you sit there and you really start thinking about things, you may pull emotions out. It may go all the way back to childhood. It may go back to a comment somebody made about you or some significant other you had in your life that really cut you down or made you feel useless or whatever it is, you will find it. And once you find it, you can rebuild it. And you can't say, I'm this. You don't want to use those words. Say, I'm going to learn to break free from this thought pattern. I'm going to learn that that's not who I am. I'm learning to become a better version of myself. I'm learning all these great things by being in this group and by being on the calls and listening to them. You're learning to become somebody different, right? Somebody better. And that's take immediate action, because motivation follows action. We tell you again all the time that you have a vision, you have a plan of how to get there, and then you have to do the action. And when you do the action, that creates the motivation. It's not the other way around, because then you see the results, you see how you feel, you see that you're stronger. Whatever it is that action creates in you is going to create the motivation to keep going. So you have to keep doing that. And so what we want you to do is just today, do something today that is going to challenge your comfort zone and that builds momentum. So start something on that. I'm just going to look at some comments. I haven't been looking at comments. Sorry. Yeah, Yvonne. Good. That's what I'm saying. Like she said, I really need to hear this again today. We need to hear a lot of these things almost weekly, because that's just how we're wired. And that's what this group's about. Like, just come in here and chat. And then Susan, I'm beginning to see the need for food prep. It feels like leftover. Yep. Prepping. Another thing with prepping, have your refrigerator. We should do that. Like, take a picture of your refrigerator. Like when you get home from grocery shopping, and a client do this weekend, and it was amazing. Like, chop everything up and have it in there. Because if you're like me, if I have zucchini, I need to make my zucchini bread today, and I'm going to do that. And I'll show a picture of when I'm done. I'll buy the zucchini and I'll leave it in the fridge. And then when I go in there, it sits there until it rots and I have to throw it out, because I don't make time to do it. And I want to make it, but if I grabbed it right away and made it for me. For fruits and veggies that are not cut up, they sit there in the drawer. They look pretty in their little wrappings and they're sitting there, but they're not cut up and easily accessible to you. So you're not going to just go and grab it. You're going to grab it and say, I don't feel like cutting that up now. And a lot of times you don't have time to. You want quick access. And we talk about that a lot. Is prepping and planning means a lot. It's huge to success. So maybe that's something you want to start challenging yourself with a food prepping. Do that. Make things look nice. Clean out your fridge. Feel fresh. Organize something to make yourself feel good. All right. So to close this off, remember, ladies, like your brain will always try to keep you comfortable, but comfort isn't where transformation happens. So every excuse is a choice. So choose to rise above and take action today with one small baby step, and then just be consistent with it, because we know you can do it and we're here to help support you. So put in the group, type in the group what you're going to do today. What's going to be your small little action that you're going to work on to bring success to your health and wellness journey. Chris says she's literally chopping up vegetables while she's listening. Yes. Awesome. Get that garden ready, Chris, so I can come snatch some of your veggies, because I'm not a garden person. No green thumb here. All right, ladies, that's all I got for you. Have a blessed day. It is Monday. It is a perfect opportunity to start your week strong. If you've already worked out this morning, amazing. If you haven't, get some movement in today and keep it going. Build on those habits and be successful. All right, have a good one. We'll see you next week.